This is not a drill. My name is Tommo. The title is not deceiving you. Cadillac have confirmed they're going to be in F1. Yes. An 11th F1 team is actually happening. I'm gassed. I'm excited. Let's read the press release. Let's go through all of it. Let's talk about it, shall we? Seamus, IBK, Patrick, Hitwa, J Pro, Owen, Tavis, Kev, and the rest of you. This is not a drill. Cadillac will be joining F1. They put out this render. I've stylized it a little bit because the quality is a little bit janky. Not sure why. But yes. It's happening. It's happening. Oh, we thought this day would never come. And yeah, let's get into it. 2 press releases that I've seen, one on the General Motors website and one in the Cadillac press room. So let's have a look at them, shall we? Rather than looking at my big stupid face. Screen share. Checo this is wrong. This is also wrong. Ignore that. I need to get window capture. I haven't even set this up in time, have I? I haven't even set this up in time. What a fraud. Where are we? We're here. There we go. Bosh. Lovely jubbly. Let's crop this in nicely. General Motors, launches Cadillac Formula One team and power unit. Now, there's a certain omission of a certain name here. Andretti, nowhere to be found. However, and you've got to trust me on this, okay? You've got to trust me on this because there's 2 documents we're going to look at here. This is on news.gm.com. This is General Motors website. This is pressroom.cadillac.com. I swear on my life, I promise, when I first opened this up, this here didn't say Cadillac Formula One team. It said Andretti Cadillac Formula One team. And either I refreshed the page and then that disappeared, or it automatically refreshed because they realised, hang on, we put the word Andretti in here. I promise, this is very much a trust me bro, but I promise it did say Andretti Cadillac Formula One team, but that was clearly a mistake. That clearly wasn't meant to be, which is kind of funny. But there we go. How are we feeling, everyone? Are we excited? Have we got... Yeah, look, Taco Plane saw it as well. Dominica saw it as well. Okay, let's see. Look, I've got. There's others of you here who are holding up my end of the bargain. Okay, yeah, IBK as well. See, look, it wasn't only me who saw it. Okay, it wasn't only me who caught them slipping. Okay, right. General Motors launches Cadillac Formula One team and power unit in landmark move. I'm going to read all of this, by the way, all of it. In a landmark move into the world's most prestigious motorsport competition, General Motors and TWG Global, not Andretti Global, and we'll explain what TWG is in a bit, have reached an agreement in principle with Formula One to bring Cadillac to the series in 2026. GM is also launching an F1 power unit that will put Cadillac Formula One team on the path to being a full works team building its own F1 vehicles and power units by the end of the decade, by the 2028 season. That is the plan. It says by the end of the decade, so maybe 2028 is the aim, but not necessarily the reality necessarily, right? We'll see, I guess. I mean, maybe if they're not happy with what they've got by 2028, they'll keep a customer supply. Sounds like it's going to be Ferrari supplying them, but we don't know for sure. Maybe Honda, maybe Red Bull Powertrains, who knows, right? But yeah. It's a thing. Cadillac would be the first new team to join F1 since 2016 and the 11th team on the grid. Yes! 11! Come on. Mate, yes, 22 drivers. 2 more seats. 2 more seats. One step closer to the holy grail of 12 teams, which is where it needs to be, as far as I'm concerned. But 11's... Because look, 11's a bit of a clumsy number. You know, I feel like once we get 11, then 12 is just an inevitability, okay? Lovely jubbly. And anyone who's saying no Andretti, look, there is an Andretti link here, don't you worry, okay? Innovations, because, by the way, TWG Global, Andretti is part of TWG Global, just so you know. Innovations created for F1 will contribute to GM's push to drive the future of transportation, leveraging advanced electrification, powertrain software, and internal combustion engine technologies for consumers around the globe. Launching an F1 team will also highlight the Cadillac brand to a diverse international audience, showcasing GM's technology and design capabilities. This is the render they put out, which is quite low quality and very grainy. Not really sure why, but either way, this is actually a render they've put out of the livery on a 2026 design, right? Because of course we've seen what we expect the 2026 cars to roughly look like, and it's nice that they put it on that. That livery is, I really don't like it, to be honest, but, we'll see, okay? I'm not going to get caught up on the livery, all right? I know that's what we do here a lot, but, I'm not going to get too caught up on the livery, okay? Today's a great day. But this is not my cup of tea. As the pinnacle of motorsports, F1 demands boundary-pushing innovation and excellence. It's an honour for General Motors and Cadillac to join the world's premier racing series, and we're committed to competing with passion and integrity to elevate the sport for race fans around the world, said GM President Mark Royce. This is a global stage for us to demonstrate GM's engineering expertise and technology leadership at an entirely new level. There's levels to this game. We're excited to partner with General Motors to bring in a dynamic presence to Formula One, said Dan Tauris, CEO of TWG Global's motorsport businesses. And not just Andretti is one of them businesses. Together we're assembling a world-class team that will embody American innovation and deliver unforgettable moments to race fans around the world. We appreciate FIA and FOM support in our application. Both FIA and FOM, not just the FIA this time. And the recognition of the value we can bring to the championship. Like I said, when this initial Andretti application came up, Andretti doesn't bring enough value to Formula One. Well, if it's being primarily led by the manufacturer, by GM, which is one of the biggest automotive manufacturers in the world when you include all of their brands, Cadillac, Chevrolet, what are the others? Buick? Probably. I don't know. No, Buick isn't. Because isn't Buick part of Stellantis? I don't know. Either way. Mario Andretti, the last American F1 champion, will serve as a director on the team's boards. There you go. Bosh. Mario will be there. Now, of course, much was made of the feathers that were ruffled by Marco? No, not Marco. Was the Andretti who's going around annoying everyone in F1? Michael, there we go. Michael Andretti. Sorry, I just had a complete mind blank there. Not Marco. Michael Andretti. Obviously, he's no longer the head honcho at Andretti Global anymore either. So it does feel like, in part, maybe he was actually, him stepping to one side maybe was a necessary part of getting this deal over the line. I don't know. He's annoyed people in higher places, right? But yeah, Mario Andretti, nice little words from him. My first love was Formula One, and now, 70 years later, the F1 paddock is still my happy place. I'm absolutely thrilled with Cadillac, Formula One, Mark Walter and Dan Tauris, said Andretti, to still be involved at this stage of my life. I have to pinch myself to make sure I'm not dreaming. Oh, that's sweet. Since GM's bid to join F1 was announced in Jan 23, which it was, so this, the bid obviously was announced. Cadillac Formula One has assembled an experienced team to work on aerodynamic, chassis and component development. Of course, we've seen the base that they've built out in the UK. Obviously, now that this isn't an Andretti-led thing, I do wonder, it seemed their ambition was to move that project to Fishers, the new Indianapolis base of Andretti Global. Obviously, now it's Cadillac kind of spearheading this, certainly in name anyway. Will that still happen? Will the team still have ambitions to move to the US eventually? That would be nice to see, because then you're giving Formula One jobs to people outside of Europe, which is cool, right? At the moment, it's an obligation. If you want to work for a Formula One team, you have to be based out of either the UK or Italy. So that would be nice to change, and I think the US is a perfect place for that to start, right? And it's not like, we've got Montreal, we've got Austin, we've got Vegas, we've got Miami, we've got all of those Grand Prix of the Americas. It's a significant chunk of the calendar now, isn't it? So I think having a team fully based out of the US eventually is not as unrealistic as it would have been 10 years ago, where the calendar was much more European centric. You know what I mean? So I think that is a realistic future for this team. We'll see, I guess. Obviously, the expertise is European based, and that's where it makes sense for them to start. But yeah, I mean, I'd love it if Cadillac just went all in on the States and focused their attention there. Well, again, look, you should have kept reading and it would have said, right, the team has operations in Fishers, Indiana, Charlotte, North Carolina, Warren, Michigan, and Silverstone, England. GM has decades of racing success and a rich history of developing high-performance powertrains with over 3,000 wins and more than 100 driver and manufacturer motorsports championships. In addition to the Cadillac F1 partnership with GM, TWG Global owns and operates Andretti Global, Wayne Taylor Racing, and Spire Motorsports. I think they put this sentence in at the end just to clarify what this TWG thing means, because understandably, right, you read this and you see General Motors and TWG Global, like who the hell are they? But that is the kind of ownership group that Andretti is now part of. And yes, it is an 11th team. This is an 11th Formula One team. 11th team on the grid. Buzzing. Happy days. Love it. Then this is the press room, which again, this originally said Andretti Cadillac Formula One team, and then they edited it, and either it updated automatically or I accidentally refreshed it. GM registers as Formula One power unit manufacturer, so this is specifically to do with the power unit side of things. Will be powered by GM power unit eventually, not straight away. Formula registered with the FIA as a Formula One power unit manufacturer. We are thrilled that our new Cadillac Formula One team entry will be powered by a GM power unit. With our deep engineering and racing expertise, we're confident to develop a successful power unit for the series and position Cadillac as a true works team. We will run with the very best at the highest levels with passion and integrity that will help elevate the sport for race fans around the world. GM's development and testing of prototype engine technology is already underway. Engineering a F1 power unit would advance GM's expertise in areas including electrification, hybrid technology and sustainable fuels, higher efficiency internal combustion engines, advanced controls and software systems. For more than a century, racing has proved a testbed for GM and Cadillac to transfer knowledge and technology between race cars and production vehicles. Cadillac's V-Series performance portfolio seamlessly incorporates learnings from the track to the road. Long history of racing success. Cadillac most recently developed the 5.5 double overhead cam V8 powertrain used in the 23 and 24 IMSA and WEC seasons. With this powertrain, Cadillac Racing secured numerous pole positions, podium finishes and race wins in 2024, along with sweeping top championship honours for the inaugural 23 IMSA Grand Touring prototype season. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, this is just... I wish that still said Andretti, because that would have been really funny. But there you go. It's happening. An 11th Formula One team on the grid from 2026 and beyond. Happy days. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Now, question number one to everyone who's here. Team principal. Who do we think that is likely going to be? Chat. Everyone who's here live, 2,071 of you are here live. Thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this stream as well while you're at it. Who should be the team principal? Now, obviously Otmar immediately came to mind. This quote Otmar made earlier on this year. I've been working with some organisations in North America that have the funding to start an 11th team. Is that Cadillac, is including Otmar in this and kind of distancing it from Michael Andretti a bit and just having Mario as again, like a figurehead? Is that what's enabled them to get this across the line? Because obviously having Otmar as a team principal, a established, known entity, and I think a very good team principal. I've long been an Otmar defender. And look, I think that certainly validates and helps give confidence to not just the FIA, but FOM and the other F1 teams who do need to be on board. that this is a serious project, and Otmar, you know, you might not like him, but he knows what he's doing. So I think Otmar Safnauer could this organisation have been Cadillac, and it's just his way of wording it in a way that he wasn't lying, but he also wasn't giving away that there is like an alternative way Cadillac gets into F1, maybe not via the Andretti naming. A lot of you mentioned Günther Steiner. Now, of course, Günther is based out of North Carolina, I believe. That's where he lives, right? With his family. So, yeah, I mean, that could well be a thing. I'm not so sure, personally. Cyril Beatable, Sophia, that's a fair shout. Obviously, Hyundai are wrapping up their WRC, right? Aren't they? I feel like they are, because they're joining, I could be wrong there, but they're joining WEC, and they're dropping their WRC. So obviously, you know, Cyril has been the team principal of their WRC team now for a good couple of years. Won the title as well. So, yeah, I mean, perhaps Cyril. I think Cyril, that would be cool to see him back beefing with Christian again. That'd be good vibes. Obviously, Otmar works because he's a Detroit native. He's from the States, so there's maybe a degree of additional connection there that would maybe help him. And thank you, Evan, by the way, for the super chat. I'm not going to say that name because I feel like you're trying to trip me up. From NASCAR, who's been with GM for years. Stop trying to trip me up, Evan. Stop it. Bad. But yeah, I think Otmar, Cyril, Günther. I think Günther's too much of a long shot. Honestly, I don't think. I wouldn't trust him, to be honest. What's in Günther's favour is he did build Haas up from the ground up with Gene, and he was responsible for really building that Haas team. So that certainly is in Günther's favour, right? Because this is a project from the ground up, whereas Otmar took on a pre-existing team, did great things with it in Force India particularly, but he took on a pre-existing team. Whereas again, Günther's gone through that process of really starting from zero, you know, and building it up. So yeah, I think I think Otmar's the option I'd go for. Obviously, Otmar's the option I'd go for. Seidel, you know, obviously Seidel's out of work now. Time to create a livery. Yeah, we'll see about that. Joe Biden. It'll be out of work soon, so maybe. Mark Noble, Charlie, I like your thinking. Mark Noble, great shout. But yeah, so team principal, Otmar, Cyril, good suggestions there. Maybe it's another, you know, someone who's on the sidelines and comes in. Cadillac needs someone who, I think they really do need someone who's been there, done that, right? And I think Otmar ticks those boxes more than many other options. So that's where my money's on. But what about the drivers as well? Because, well, obviously Colton Herta has been linked with Andretti. Andretti's Formula One operation for a long time. He's an Andretti driver in IndyCar. And this was from Michael Andretti, his quote: "Colton is definitely at the top of our list for F1 candidates. But we have the points problem, so we have to see how he does in IndyCar to hopefully get enough points for a super license." He does not have enough points for a super license, does Colton Herta. However, he's come off the back of a pretty decent IndyCar season. He finished second, right? I want to say he finished second. Yeah, he did finish. Yeah. He finished second. Which is mad. You can finish second in IndyCar and still not qualify for enough super license points for F1. That is absolute nonsense. I did a video at the time saying how it was nonsense that Colton's not allowed. Like, Colton's not allowed, yet Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who's 17 and didn't even do F3 and is doing well in F2, is allowed, but Colton Herta, who's second in IndyCar and has tons, like, make it make sense. Like, and I'm not saying Kimi shouldn't be in F1, by the way. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Colton should absolutely be, and that points that super license point system is nonsense, because obviously IndyCar is not an FIA championship, so that's why they don't give enough points. But it's just a cartel if you're going to do it like that. Like, if a driver merits being in the series, it shouldn't matter if they've raced in an FIA series or not. If they deserve to be here and they deserve an opportunity and they've shown enough aptitude, and Colton Herta certainly has, right? But of course, again, this is not an Andretti entry. This is a Cadillac F1 entry. Now, I do think at least one of these seats will be filled by an American bottom. I think that's almost guaranteed. So who else would be? Obviously, Alex Palou is Spanish, but he's obviously made a huge impression in IndyCar. I think Pato O'Ward's, he's not American, he's Mexican, but I think Pato O'Ward would be quality. Like, I'd love to see Pato get a seat. I think he'd absolutely deserve that for sure. And again, I know he's not American, but he's a high-profile competitor in IndyCar, which is obviously the US's premier open-wheel racing series. So I think Pato would be a great shout. Pato and Colton would be really cool. They obviously would be going for two drivers with no F1 experience outside of a bit of testing. That obviously Colton in this image driving an old McLaren. Pato has done some mileage in some old McLarens as well, and obviously done FP1 a couple of times now. Colapinto, this is certainly a, this is an entry from 26 onwards. Franco should definitely be thinking about this. We know Franco's got the speed. We know he's got a shunt in him as well, but if he's given enough time, he will eventually get that out of his system. For what Cadillac need, joining in 2026 is a brand new entry, brand new fresh set of regulations with probably a Ferrari power unit at the back. I think you could certainly argue that experience is the most important factor for them. Checo's an interesting one. Checo is definitely an interesting shout. Something he should definitely be considering, I think. Again, just having 22 drivers, it's 2 more seats, 2 more opportunities. Jack Crawford, Millie, Jack Crawford's still very young. So going into he's doing a right job in F2. He's not setting F2 alight, but he's affiliated with Aston Martin. There's definitely connections there. K-Mag's a good shout, Sava. K-Mag's a good shout. Nolan Siegel, Emma, yes, Nolan Siegel. Nolan Siegel's a very good shout. Quality driver, Nolan, definitely. Joseph Newgarden. Yes, Joseph Newgarden. The ultimate Chad. I'd love to see it. Bottas as well, yep. Drogovic, Porsche, Cole Larson, yes. We'll see. We'll see who's better. Larson or Verstappen. Yeah, they've got a lot of choices. I think Cadillac's F1 team, this is huge, right? This is a big deal. Yes, we already have an American F1 team in Haas, but Cadillac GM, this is massive, right? This is a huge deal. Big, high-profile American name. Stingray Rob, yes. Stingray, make it happen. Jamie Chadwick. Look, if Jamie's got the smoke, if she can handle it, then why not? I think we need to see it. I'd like to see. Is Jamie doing? She's in Indy next, isn't she? I'd like to see Jamie in IndyCar first. I'd like to see how she stacks up in IndyCar for sure. Bottas and Herta. Valtteri would be, but I just think that. I feel like a high-profile American driver. Bring back Logan. What a shame, because if Logan had actually not got dropped by Williams and actually been doing a right job, you could see definitely, then build him up at Williams, and then he buggers off to Cadillac, Andretti, whatever you want to call it. Ugo. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously Ugo's part of McLaren Academy. He's American, and I reckon it would take a lot to prize him away from McLaren. I reckon they've got a very good deal nailing him down. I just feel like they need a... Honestly, I think the most high profile... I don't know. You know what? I really don't know. I'm conflicted. There's so many names. I'm just trying to think what they would actually do. Like, who would they actually go for? Magnussen just feels... There's something about Magnussen that feels right. There's something about K-Mag that just feels right. But I don't know if he'd... I feel like this is now fully the end of K-Mag's F1 career. Even though K-Mag's only like 32, isn't he? So he's got years left in him. But I just feel like this is it. I feel like this is the end for K-Mag in F1. Nolan Siegel. You know, whoever suggested Nolan... I think Nolan Siegel is a serious contender. But look, a lot of these drivers in the States are going to come up against the super license problem, aren't they? The super license problem is going to be an issue for a lot of these indie drivers who are understandably going to be interested. Interesting. Well, look, I'll let you lot have it out in the comments below. I think my prediction for the 2026 Cadillac Formula One team drivers is going to be Pato O'Ward and Franco Colapinto. No, it's no Americans though. It just surely they're gonna want an American in the seat. Well, I mean, technically they're from the Americas, so maybe they... I don't know. I feel like USA. I don't know. O'Ward and Colapinto would be great. Crawford is the only option. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below, okay? Who do you think will take these two seats at Cadillac? I keep going to call it Andretti, but it's not Andretti, it's Cadillac. But yeah, to anyone who's just arrived, we do have confirmation that General Motors are launching their Cadillac Formula One team and power unit from 2026. The Formula One team from 2026, the power unit by the end of the decade. They've not said 2028, and they will be the 11th team on the grid. Exciting times, happy days, grazie, ragazzi. My name's been Tommo. It's a pleasure as always. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.